My fatphobic brother-in-law insulted me and made me cry on a beach day out, so I told my mother-in-law and she ridiculed him in front of everyone. I'm plus-sized, 5'5", 240 pounds, but I lift heavy at the gym and consider myself fit. My brother-in-law is one of those gym guys who eats only chicken and rice and thinks anyone who doesn't is worthless. First time we met, he called me a beluga. My boyfriend laughed it off. Later, I found out he'd asked my boyfriend if he was serious about dating this wildebeest. Every family gathering after that was hell. Second time, he joked about me getting seconds at dinner. Third time, he asked how I squeezed into my jeans that morning. I convinced my boyfriend to text him asking to tone it down. His response? If she wants me to stop calling her a mammoth, she should lose weight. I demanded my boyfriend cut contact. He refused but said I didn't have to attend events where his brother would be. For 2.5 years, I avoided him. We got engaged, married, had a honeymoon, only saw him once at our wedding from across the venue. His family has always been sweet to me. They've defended me when he made comments, especially my mother-in-law. She's told me I shouldn't be ashamed and complimented how much I lift at the gym. Recently, my husband invited me to a beach day, asked if I wanted to join. I immediately asked if his brother would be there. No, he said confidently. He's got work that day. So I agreed. I was actually excited. I hadn't seen most of his family in months and really missed them. But here's the thing. Even though I never showed it outwardly, my brother-in-law's comments had really gotten to me over the years. They'd burrowed deep into my brain. When beach day came around, I felt incredibly insecure about wearing a swimsuit. I wanted to wear a one-piece, something that covered more. But my husband convinced me I looked hot in a bikini and that I should wear it. I also didn't eat anything for 24 hours before the beach day. I wanted to look as thin as possible. Didn't want to be bloated or give anyone ammunition. We arrived at the beach early. The sun was already blazing. We walked over to where his family had set up umbrellas and towels. And there he was, my brother-in-law, standing there in board shorts, talking casually to his dad. I immediately pulled my husband aside. You said he wasn't coming. I thought he wasn't, my husband said, looking genuinely confused. He must have gotten out of work. Just relax and enjoy the day. I'll talk to him if anything happens. But I couldn't relax. I was on edge the entire time. When I laid out to sunbathe, I stretched my body as long as possible, positioned myself at angles I thought were most flattering. Anything to give him less to work with. It didn't matter at all. About an hour in, he came over while I was lying there alone, sat down right next to me on the sand. I saw him but tried not to react, even though my heart was absolutely pounding. Long time no see, he said casually. Yeah, I replied as quietly as possible. Then, wasting no time, he said, you really haven't changed at all. Still just as big as ever, huh? I stayed completely silent, tried to get up and relocate somewhere else, but he literally followed behind me, kept making comments as I walked. How does your butt sag that low? He said loud enough for people nearby to hear. You're built like a stack of bagels. I practically ran away from him, found a spot behind some rocks where nobody could see me, and I cried, silently, so nobody would hear. Eventually, my husband found me. I told him everything that had just happened, every single comment. His response? Just stay quiet for now. I'll handle this when we get home. I don't want to start an argument in front of everyone. That response broke something inside me. I realized in that moment he was never going to stand up for me. Not really. So I went to my mother-in-law. She was sitting under an umbrella reading a book. I sat down next to her and told her absolutely everything. What he'd said, how he'd followed me, how her son refused to do anything about it. She closed her book immediately. Didn't say a single word to me. Just stood up and marched directly over to where my brother-in-law was standing with other family members. I couldn't hear exactly what she said, but I watched the entire thing unfold. Saw her pointing directly at his chest. Saw his face go from confused to completely mortified. Saw him staring down at the sand like a child being scolded. Then she grabbed him by the ear. Literally reached up, grabbed his ear like he was 10 years old and dragged him across the beach, through the sand, past other families, all the way to where I was sitting. Apologized to her, she said in the firmest voice I'd ever heard from her. Right now, he mumbled something under his breath, barely making eye contact with me. Louder, she demanded, not letting go. He apologized again, this time clearly. Half the family was watching by now. When we got home that night, we had the longest and most serious conversation about boundaries. He promised he would talk to his brother the next day and make it clear this behavior would never be tolerated again. I really hope he follows through this time.